Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with another replay that I took from the pack from CPL Shenyang, and this one I'm going to go ahead and cast a set between Infi and MarineKingPrime. I thought I'd go ahead and just say for the moment that I actually wanted to upload this replay first. Well, not this replay first, but I actually chose this one as the third set because it involves, I would say, one of the more one of the stronger Chinese players. He does belong to the same team as Calm, but enough about that. I'll give you a better introduction to him once we have the replay loaded. Now, it's interesting to note that in the replay that we have here, he's actually loading up as a... Geez, I don't know if you saw it or not, but he was actually at GM at the loading screen. So, yeah, lower left-hand corner spawning as our teal Terran. It's VGInfi. Lower right-hand corner spawning as our red Terran, MarineKingPrime. And for some strange reason, it seems as though Infi really likes playing on the Korean server. There's not the Korean server. Really, he's grandmasters on the China server, which is actually something that we don't really see happening all that often with Chinese players. Like typically, I mean, China, they're right next to Korea. I mean, once you stop and think about it, it would be the most standard ladder to play on. When you really don't have to deal with that much lag. Sure, you have to deal with the international firewalling, but my understanding is that if you live in Beijing and you are connecting to, say, what is it I'm looking for? If you're connecting to the Korea server from Beijing, then you've really got almost no lag to speak of. But this is rather interesting. It looks like Marine King is just going to go ahead and send out an SCV, and he doesn't have a barracks yet in his main. So what is he doing with this? I'm thinking. I'm leaning towards saying maybe Proxy Reaper because of the positioning of the barracks that it's in right now. It is, after all, on the high ground, but it's also out of the scouting route that we would see an SCV sent out by VGInfi if he were to send one out. But it looks like right now this kind of has the tempo of him going with, say, I don't know, an MMA. No. I was going to say an MMA style 1-1-1 opener, but that's completely no. That's not possible. If it was the MMA style 1-1-1 opener that I'm thinking about, then it would actually be him going gas before the barracks. So here we are. MarineKingPrime is about to have his first barracks finished, and he's actually taking gas right now. Okay, so he's going to have enough for a Reaper once it finishes, or is he? He's going to go ahead and build a tech lab, and I think what he's planning on doing with this is getting some proxy marauders out, because 1 versus 1 a marauder will absolutely raffle stomp a marine. Kind of bullying, kind of torture the way it kills him. You know, think about it. How many C-20 grenades hit a single marine before it dies? But you can already see that Infi did not go for a command center first opener, which, yeah, I mean, I see some Chinese Terrans doing this. I'm not sure if it's actually trending on their ladder or not, but let's just wait and see if 2 Marines will be able to hold off against this 1 Marauder. There's a 3rd one on the way, but concussive shells also in the mix right now for our Terran. And I think, you know, with what we see coming from Infi, I'm inclined to say that Marine King is not going to do too much damage with this, but it's also interesting to note that he's putting this 3rd supply depot at this position right here. Very interesting indeed, but now we have 2 Marauders out, and I think they'll be able to more than adequately deal with the 3 Marines that are at the top of this ramp. But yes, this is genius. They can actually outrange the Marines, and they'll be able to slow them down at the same time because they have concussive shells. But oh man, VG pulls his Marine back just a little bit short of where he should. There's now 2 Marauders in the mix and a bunker going down. Remember, anything that is armored is what we will see these Marauders get a buff against. And it's looking like he's going to lose some SCVs. Here he is. He's already lost 1 or 2. He really has. But just altogether, I think that 1 Hero Marine will be able to kill maybe 2 of these Marauders, but this is still costing our Teal Terran some economy. The one thing he could probably do to make up for this right now is immediately try and find an opportunity to throw down a command center, typically speaking, just getting ahead of his opponent in terms of economy, making this an affordable loss. But he's not going to be able to do that because we've already seen that MarineKingPrime has already thrown his down. Oh, now this of all things. Oh, man. they're going to be able to pick off the supply depots. And the bunker here can't really do anything about those Marauders on the low ground. Actually, they're pecking away at them, but now SCVs are getting pulled back and forth and left and right to actually repair that supply depot. And if MarineKingPrime can't get in there and kill any more SCVs in addition to the 5 that he's already killed, then he's just going to be as annoying as possible and, you know, cause more in the way of losses for VGInfi. Superficially speaking, once we examine what Infi is doing right now, it's just a teeny bit counterproductive. He's got a Banshee that's about to finish, but I don't, yeah, there's no missile turret ready just yet. There is going to be an engineering bay, and on top of that, we're just going to have the second command center finished for MarineKingPrime long in advance of that of Infi's. Infi hasn't even gotten started on his expo just yet, and that is what's most dangerous about this now. I think there's going to be a missile turret, yeah, that's ready before the Banshee maybe arrives. Maybe, and there's almost nothing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There are actually 2 Widow Mines here. It only takes 1 and a peck from a Marine to actually deal with a Banshee. And it looks like he's going to just take advantage of what we have here from Marine King. Oh! With some poor control, he actually ends up taking Widow Mine. Just takes a single Widow Mine and a single Marine to really deal with a Banshee effectively, I think. But here we go. Detection going down, and now the Banshee is within attacking range of that Widow Mine, if I'm not mistaken. But altogether, Infi really eating a lot in the way of losses thus far. He's trying to set his opponent back. If he could get that Tech Lab, I think it would be well worth his time. And it looks like he will get it, but for some strange reason, it seems as though Marine King doesn't think it's too important to deal with that right now. And 4 Vikings on the way? What's that all about? He doesn't want medevacs for some reason. I don't know why he doesn't want medevacs, but it looks like for the time being... Ooh, oh, that missile turret just shut down the... That missile turret just shut down the Banshee. And now, who's ahead economically? It is without contest going to be Marine King. And I must say that's the first time I've ever seen a Widow Mine deal with a Widow Mine. You know, not absolutely hilarious, but you know, it's something kind of worth laughing at in terms of a quirk, if you will. But oh, that Banshee within! Oh man, that Banshee is it gonna die? No. Yes, it will. Oh boy. And now a third one on the way. Even though we already have anti-Banshee machines right here, Scan going down takes down the Widow Mine, but unfortunately some Marines move forward onto it, and I think maybe with the position that we see Infi in right now, he's actually kind of nervous. He could just, I think Marine King could actually land one of his Vikings next to those Marines and force a tank shot out, and that would probably kill like 3 of those Marines right there, but it's just so hard to say. He's going to land them, yes he is. The Marauder is dealing with the tank appropriately, and now Infi is just taking so much in the way of losses. It's like Infi stands for infinite losses now. I don't know, jeez. I don't want to admit it, but this game I don't think is going to reach the 20-minute mark at this rate. With the way we see Infi losing things left and right. Double the losses of his opponent, continuing to throw away more expensive units for absolutely cheap units. 5 workers killed to his name still is not quite going to cut it at this stage. Now the Hellbats coming into the mix. The Marines will not quite be enough to do that, and the Vikings are going to land here to help deal with what we have from Infi. And Infi getting very overeager in this engagement. As you can see, it's 1 tank versus all these Vikings. I just don't think it's going to work out, but Cloak Banshee comes in, and that's going to help out a teeny bit, at least with the Hellbats. But overall, I don't think we see MarineKingPrime actually inclined to spend a scan on it. He doesn't have the energy for him just yet, but he's also going mech versus his opponent right now. And what you could say is an ironic illusion from his name. And now Infi's going into the main. He's getting a little bit in the way of damage done. This tank sieged up outside the natural, and I think this is a sign that perhaps Infi is nervous. He's just simply trying to do whatever damage to his opponent that he possibly can. Getting overeager with that Banshee, overextending with it. The Marines coming in to pick off some Vikings here and there, but I don't know if it's going to be enough or not. Hellbats are dropping on top of the tanks. And do bear in mind that this is actually after the nerf patch that they got recently. Yes, China is not behind on any of the server maintenance that the rest of the Western world gets. or even Taiwan or Korea, which is not really the westernized countries, if you will. Envy is forced to pull back now. I think he's not feeling too comfortable, especially since he can see those medevac drops moving out. And I don't think he's got anything at home to deal with it. Does he even have stim? He doesn't have stim. And now the only thing to indicate what transition he's going with, it's basically this barracks, just signifying that he's trying to get some more bio out. And SCVs, oh my god, roasted SCVs here. And more Vikings coming across the map to keep them alive. One cloaked Banshee going back to the main of Marine King. He's going to be able to pick off anything that comes out of the factory because presently we don't have any anti-air. Blue Flame is now being researched by MarineKingPrime. That's just going to increase the amount of damage that he can do to his opponent. Meanwhile, the medevacs, the Marines are torn in dealing with the medevacs. They're just going straight for the mineral line and saving everything that he's got. This is not your typical gameplay. I really, legitimately, honestly think that Infi is quite nervous right now, making lots of mistakes in the game. He can even hear what the casters are saying in Chinese, and Marine King can't, and that's actually, you know, that puts him at kind of an arguably unfair advantage, but at the same time, he's just not quite able to handle himself. More and more roasted workers in the main, and Infi just eating, again, the worst of losses, putting himself really far behind. 46 supply to the 107 of his opponents. This is, you know, the mirror matchup is clearly the one matchup where it's easiest to see whether you've got a lead or you're just losing. And the fact that your opponent has siege tanks in your natural right next to supply depot as well, I think that says it all. And they were attacking the mineral line too, stacking up the losses to a total of 36 workers killed in favor of MarineKingPrime. That's when Infi just says, hey, I've had enough. Let me out of this game. GG. So, that is enough of this replay. We're going to go ahead and dive into game number 2.